Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Bear with me, the pollen's killing me. Slowly getting better, but I still, hard to talk, hard to breathe. But I'm alive and well, can't complain. But let's hypothetically say it was an SHTF event. I am definitely not 100%, I guarantee you I'm not. So if this was SHTF, I wouldn't have the luxury of being able to work a little bit and then go relax, work, go but relax. It might be work. Or it might be try to secure my property, try to be 24 hours a day, almost up watching what I have. So if you're sick in a grid down situation, your chances of survival are definitely going to be lower. You're not going to be capable of doing as much, and if you don't have a team surrounding you, so you could just stay in bed. That should be your concept. Can I make a team? Can I get enough family, friends, loved ones, people that I care about, neighbors, that if I need to be sick, you might have the flu. You could have COVID. You'd be so sick where you can't get out of bed. You could be can't leave the bathroom because every 5 seconds you're running back in there and using it. So you need to think about that. Do you have it covered? So if you are totally incapable, or maybe you're incapable because you're out doing something, you get something in your eye, and that eye is out of commission, swelled up, red, you can't see nothing out of it, making the other one hard to see out of. Prepping is preparing so in a worst case event, and you get another worst case event inside a worst case event, you're prepared. Let's hypothetically look at when we have spring storms around here, we have bad weather, but we know about it. We know about it because the weatherman or weather lady says, hey, prepare. Your radios go off, weather alert, your phones go off, tornado warning, tornado watch, or tornadoes coming at your house, literally. We're not going to have that in a grid down. How are you going to know when there's a frost? We have one more potential frost coming up, I think tomorrow. And if you're not prepared for it, if you assume, oh my gosh, it's 70 degrees outside for the last 5 days, I don't need to worry about frost, and you don't cover your plants, and they get massacred with the frost. Maybe that goes back to having someone on your retreat, if you have a working retreat, monitoring the temperature, looking at that gauge, so that if you have to at 2 in the morning, you make that decision, hey, cover everything up. Or maybe you're so proactive, you cover up everything every night if you think there's a possibility of frost. Those are going to be things that you can't fix. If you have a frost and you lose like your blueberries, or you lose things that only bloom once out, you won't get any more. And if your plan is to count on blueberries, I have lots of blueberries here. I did lose some from an earlier frost. I had covered them up, but one of the long ones the wind blew it off, and it was exposed to the weather, and every single bloom on that branch is dead. So there's so many variables when you're prepping. So many things that we take for granted, the weather reports, the frost reports. We're not going to have that luxury. So I urge you to prepare at a level that if you do suffer a loss from frost and you lose your blueberries, you have other fruit put back, or you know where there's wild fruit out there that you can go get, especially blackberries. Blackberries are not sweet. Around here, I mean, they're good, but they're not sweet. You need to add a lot of sugar if you're going to make some blackberry jam. If you don't have sugar, you don't have jam. That's the bottom line. So there's so many things that you got to prepare for. A lot of guys and gals have thanked me for sort of showing the importance of night vision. It is a game changer. I've talked to so many of you just lately. And a lot of people have a lot of stuff invested. I mean, they got food, they got weapons, they have some guys have double wells, they put in an extra whole well. But they didn't have night vision. They didn't have the capacity to see in the dark. A lot of them have remedied that, which is good, because the more night vision in the hands of good guys is such a blessing for your community. A few people in that last thing say, I don't need night vision. Now, if you cannot afford night vision, that is 100% understandable. You can't afford it. I understand that. But some people played it off to the point where they don't know the capabilities of night vision. You will get rolled up if a force that halfway knows what they're doing has night vision capabilities, and they put you under watch for a few days, they'll roll you up. There's nothing you can do about it. Literally, you're going to have to, I don't even know how you're going to do it. You'd have to make really good, strong perimeters, shrink your perimeters, and basically be willing to put a lot of rounds around your perimeter, hoping to hit one of them, because they don't need to put a lot of rounds on them. They can look right through that scope like it's daytime and pull the trigger. A few rounds will have the same effect that you are going to have to put a lot of covering fire down, a lot of grazing fire down, and that's if you know they're there. If you don't know they're there, you're not going to be wasting those rounds, but they're going to be able to use just a couple rounds and successfully take your perimeter, take your retreat. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you the importance of night vision. So if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, but learn everything you can about it. Do not downplay it. Do not downplay it. It's so very important. I want to talk about a few other people that said every day they're getting inundated with videos from every YouTuber out there, from every news source about food's going to be scarce, food's going to be more expensive, there's going to be a worldwide food shortages because we have drought in a lot of parts. I think China had the worst wheat harvest. We've had terrible wheat harvests. We have terrible drought. We have getting over the COVID and logistical problems. We have the war in Ukraine. We have lack of fertilizer. I can go on and on about everything that is the perfect storm influencing the total going to be lack of food available, or for many, they won't be able to afford it. Now, us being in the United States, we have a lot of disposable income. We are so blessed. I can look around this room and think, wow, I am so freaking blessed just in one room. The ability to have supplies, to have things I can, cook my food, things I can fix things with, firearms, ammo, medical supplies, all this stuff. We're inundated in the United States with the ability to acquire stuff because we are born in the United States. We're going to go into a time period where food might be expensive, food might be scarce. You might have to not eat food number A, you might have to have food number B. A few people that I've been talking to, YouTubers, has said they're not worried about it. And I understand totally what they're saying because they're at a level of preparedness. Now, they're not putting their faith in their preps because their house could burn down or someone could steal everything. But they're putting their faith in God, but they're putting their faith that they have done the work necessary to prepare for hard times. They have what they need. Now, if you don't, and there's a lot of new subscribers that just starting out, or you're just barely getting enough put back slowly because of finances, and I understand that. So you're antsy. I know you're antsy. I talk to you, and you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Just keep prepping, because when your level of prepping goes up and you can see, hey, the shelves are getting full, I'm getting a stockpile, I'm getting a surplus so I can weather the storm, your anxiety will go down. And I see that with really hardcore seasoned preppers. To me, I don't physically worry about the food shortages because I've done everything I can. I've put back, I've stocked. I'm even trying to put some more perennial type fruit in my property, so I'll have that. Do what you can. There is a food crisis. I don't want to keep beating it. It's been beat to death on YouTube. There are going to be higher prices on food and maybe food shortages, so you need to prepare. Lately I've gotten some people ask me, how much do I need? 6 months, 3 months? When somebody says 3 months to me, I get worried. 3 months is great if that's what you can afford. You need to think longer. You need to think a year. You need to think 2 years. And at that second year, it's not the luxury items. It's going to be beans and rice and oatmeal and wheat. It's going to be basics. Look at the show Alone. I love watching the show Alone to learn from that. Those people are smart, but they do not have the ability to get food. Guess what? They start losing weight. They start losing the ability to have good decision-making ability. They lose the ability to go look for more food because they're too hungry. We're not in the same situation as Alone. We have a lot more than one backpack. We have the ability to store 5-gallon buckets and all kinds of stuff. But you need to get serious about your food prep. You don't need to panic. But if you're on a budget, every time you go, buy an extra 1 or 2 or 3 of these things and put it back, it will add up. You do have a little window here. There's no food shortages today. You can go to the grocery store and pretty much find what you want. So keep prepping. Keep preparing. And as you prepare, your anxiety will come down. If you listen to the YouTubers, and me included, you can get some anxiety. You can be worried because the constant bad news, the war, maybe a nuclear war, hopefully the COVID thing is gone, and all these other things that are getting thrown on us, politics, corruption, the dollar that's going to collapse. Just prepare. Prepare for hard times. Prepare for a Great Depression. Thanks for watching.